Malinaw sa bawat Pilipino na obligasyon ng gobyerno na bayaran ang kabuoang premium subsidy para sa indirect contributors sa tama at takdang halaga at ibalik ang premium subsidy na pinagkait ng national government upang mabigyang pagkakataon ang PhilHealth na maabot ang target nitong benefit expenses para sa bawat Pilipino. At huli po, Madam Chair, malinaw ang listahan ng utang at kulang ng gobyerno sa ating National Health Insurance Program. Gaya ng in-enumerate din ni Madam Chair kanina, 69 billion pesos para sa taong 2025, 72.6 billion pesos para sa premium subsidy ng 14.53 milyong indirect contributors para sa taong 2026. Hindi pa kasama ang sinabi ni Madam Chair kanina na remittances mula sa PAGCOR at PCSO mula pa taong 2019. Bagaman sinisigurado nating may sapat na pondo ang PhilHealth, huwag din nating kalimutan ang obligasyon ng korporasyon na tiyaking hindi mauuwi sa korupsyon ang bawat pisong nilalagak ng karaniwang Pilipino para sa kanilang gastusing pangkalusugan. So at this point, Mr. President, Madam Chair, maraming salamat po. I'll suspend and then just come back second round. Salamat po.
Thank you, to Senator Risa Ontiveros for your timely and very, very clear and strong recommendations and observations about the need of PhilHealth for funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tiveros. The next to interpolate is Senator Erwin Tulfo is now recognized. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Madam Chair, let me begin by saying in 2021, only 29% of Filipinos expressed satisfaction with public health care, starkly lower than the Asia-Pacific average of 61% and Singapore's impressive 82% satisfaction rate. This dissatisfaction reflects systematic issues, including a physician-to-population ratio of just one doctor per 25,300 people, far below the WHO recommendation of 1 to 1,000. The shortage of medical professionals, coupled with inadequate infrastructure and public funding, has left the Filipino population vulnerable to numerous health challenges. My question, Madam Chair, ano po ang ideal physician-to-population ratio? Ano po ang current physician-to-population ratio natin?
Thank you. Requirement ratio, these are based on the SDG indicators, is 14.3 doctors to 10,000 population. Currently sa Philippines, meron po tayong 5.22 doctors for a 10,000 population.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. President. Now let's go to salary comparison of nurses in the ASEAN region, Madam Chair, Mr. President. In the Philippines, our nurses makes like 40,381 pesos. In Vietnam, equivalent to pesos, it's 63,200. Sa Indonesia, it's 79,000 pesos. Thailand, 83,000. Malaysia, 97,000. Singapore, 236,000. In pesos po yan. And ang tanong ko po, Madam Chair, Mr. President, madalas na po itong naitatanong sa previous Congress, pero ano pong ginagawa ngayon natin para mahikayat yung mga nurses natin na manatili po dito sa ating bayan? Meron na po bang human resource roadmap para ganahan naman yung ating mga healthcare workers natin na dito na lang sila magtrabaho? Madam Chair, Mr. President. Let's see.
Mr. President, I'd like to start with a little bit of history. When this representation was new in the Senate, maybe my first few years, meron na tayong napasa na nursing act no, na may salary increase ang nurses. And being the chairman of the Committee on Health, nag-support po tayo dyan. Yung pala, one of the reasons why DOH couldn't implement it, I don't know if Secretary Ted would, what were you still, you were a surgeon in the early 2000, you said on mga 2006, ganon?
Yes, sir. Already.
Okay. So, at that time, kaya pala hindi rin ma-implement kasi yung salary ng nurses, natuwang-tuwa naman ako na mabigay ng magandang sweldo, mas mataas na pala sa doktor.
Sure.
So, damay-damay yung problema natin. So, parang hindi yata yan gumalaw for 10 years. So, finally, we passed a new law which was lower, which of course, you know, it's painful. Hindi na ho akong chairman noon, so I'm not responsible for that. But they had to make adjustments kasi nga, you have to address this salaries of nurses, you know, in the bigger picture, the global picture, because they're not the only healthcare workers we have. In fact, His Honor started with a question about the doctor ratio. Then the nurses are a big component, but so are all the other allied health professionals. So to answer His Honor's question, this representation does have a human healthcare resource management bill, but I have not coordinated with the secretary, and I suppose meron din kayong something similar, no? Like a roadmap for human resource. I am certain that DOH on its own would like to see higher salaries for the allied health professions. It is not a secret that we lose most of our nurses. I would say they would train for average of how many years before they leave? So we lose 13,000 a year and we do not even graduate that amount. We graduate less. Again, I am answering from my own experiences as a policymaker for healthcare. What has been done in other countries, which I have also recommended, but I don't really know what progress we have made, is that we enter into bilateral agreements with other countries that are receiving countries so that sila din ang pumondo ng mga nurses na kinukuha din naman nila sa atin. So, meron tayong concrete plan. Okay. So, meron ng ganun si Austria. I'm happy to hear that because that is something that this representation has been pushing. And included doon yung kinikwento ni Secretary, yung career path, no? Kasi that's what's important to many of them na how do you upgrade your skills? How do you reach that higher level? So, ang nurse 3 natin from 40,000 magiging 75,000 na, which just brings us maybe one tier higher than His Honor's comparison to other countries. But that's what we have for now. I think the long-term plan would really be to recognize that we are a producing country and that our nurses are very, very good, and we maximize that potential by working with the receiving countries, either directly with the countries. I actually have a classmate, so I'm a lawyer, he's a lawyer. Pumunta pa siya dito para ewan ko sino yung kinausap, diretso sa isang ospital. Like, hindi man lang dumaan sa gobyerno. Sabi ko, mahiya ka naman. Dumaan ka naman sa gobyerno. So, G2G ang gustong gawin ni Secretary. So, anyway, I'll end there, Mr. President. I hope it's not a great answer, but that is what we have right now.
Well, I agree with you, Madam Chair. Alam ko naman ho na magagaling po ating mga healthcare professionals pagdating dyan. Talaga pong hinahanap ng mga hospitals, lalo na po sa overseas, lalo na po sa Middle East. Dahil at par po ang kanilang talent, ang kanilang skills, kumpara po sa mga nurses overseas, US, Canada, magagaling po. Aside from that, nakakapag-communicate po sila in English. Oh, Madam Chair, kumustahin ko lang po ang mga medical services po natin sa ating mga evacuation centers kasi ang problem po dito, yung pag may bagyo, may mga trangkaso yung mga pasyente, worse, yung iba may mga leptospirosis na pala, yung iba po may diarrhea dahil po sa mga contaminated na mga water na ininom nila sa panahon po ng bagyo ng mga baha.
According to the Secretary, Mr. President, pagka merong mga calamities, DOH works with the LGUs, and they supplement and they augment the health services being offered. So meron silang minsan na mga scheduling, umaga, hapon, palitan sila ng LGUs so that ma-deliver nila ang health care needs ng mga residents in the evacuation center. So per evacuation center, yan ho ang mga tina-target nila.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magtungo naman po tayo sa medical assistance to indigent and financially incapacitated patients o kung tawagin ay MAIFIP. The 24.238 billion pesos lodged under OSEC will be used for hospitalization and medical assistance to approximately 1.616 million indigent and financially incapacitated patients. The question is, for 2024, ilang indigent and financially incapacitated patients po ang nakinabang o natulungan ng MAIFIP program na ito? And then, also, sasama ko na po yung tanong, paano po ba sila maka-avail ng MAIFIP? Madam Chair.
Mr. President, 4.48 million patients were served using the budget of MAIFIP. And on the second question, kung paano sila pwedeng mag-avail, the medical social service or its equivalent at any healthcare facility where the patient accesses health services determines the eligibility for assistance under the MAIFIP program. So there's a social worker that will conduct an interview and they can avail. So sa madaling salita, hindi mo kailangan ng political endorsement para ma-avail yun. Pero maraming, syempre, lalapit sila ng tulong sa mga, siguro, usually, nauna dyan yung sa local nila, pero we need to make sure na maliwanag sa mga tao na they don't have to. They can go to the health facility and they will be assisted. Thank you.
Madam Chair, do we have enough manpower to process and release such a huge amount of assistance to indigent patients? And then, what is the disbursement rate of MAIFIP over the years, Madam Chair?
So, in 2021, 76% was the utilization. In 2022, 93%, same as 2023, 93%. In 2024, it was 86%. And in 2025, this is only as of September 30, it's 69%. So I don't have the actual, I cannot project, but it would appear naman na aakyat din to on track sila po for the 90 plus utilization.
My next question, Madam Chair, bakit kaya? Ano ang parang napapansin po natin, tumataas po siya? Well, is there something wrong? I mean, lalo bang dumadami ang mahihirap natin or maraming hospitals na ang private hospitals ang tumatanggap po ng MAIFIP?
So actually, Mr. President, one major reason why there is a higher demand for MAIFIP is around 2 years ago, the private hospitals started accepting MAIFIP. So in the areas where there are no nearby public hospitals, the private ang nakatulong sa mga kababayan natin, and hihingi talaga sila ng tulong dahil medyo usually mas mataas din ang expense doon, so they would need the MAIFIP to help them cover their cost. That's the main reason. And of course, yung benefit packages, dumadami rin. So, mas marami din ang pwedeng makinabang, mas malaki din ang gastos nila.
Is it safe to say, Madam Chair, na maraming mga patients natin, yung mga mahihirap, ang tumatakbo sa private hospitals dahil kulang na kulang po ang mga kama sa mga public hospitals natin, DOH-run hospitals. Could that be also one of the factors why